Jumping into the number 5 spot of the best budget microphones for YouTubers of all kinds, this is the Deity D4 Duo, coming at a price tag of only 42 bucks. This gives you a lot for your money, but if at any point during the video you want to check out any of the 5 mics in this video, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links, and I'm currently recording this on the Deity D4 Duo. All of the mics in this video will be recorded on themselves. So this is the Deity. This is what it sounds like. It's mounted right above my head, right up here. Now this is great for vloggers. You can definitely use it in a studio environment like this, mounted up there, but it's really best when you put it on a camera because that has 2 mics, one facing backwards and one facing forwards. So you can actually use it for car reviews, vlogging, or a run and gun style handheld, or even on a gimbal as well. So it works great because you can talk into the microphone while you're holding it, but also record the sound in front of it, which is very cool. Now, mic quality on the Deity D4 Duo is pretty true to life and pretty real, which is great. It's neutral sounding and will pick up voices with ease in front of the camera as well as behind. Now, one of the great things is that this is plug and play. You just use a 3.5mm cable, plug it into your camera, and there's no battery required, which means, well, you're never gonna run out of battery. You're never gonna accidentally have the mic go dead during filming, which is something that's really, really good to have. All right, now let's talk about noise floor and rejection. For a noise floor, take a listen. That's how it sounds. That's only with the front facing camera on. It's definitely not the best on the list, but definitely not terrible at all. And as far as rejection and sensitivity, the front of the mic is a lot more sensitive than the rear mic, obviously. Since in the front, you're gonna wanna hear people usually a little bit farther away, and behind it, you're probably only gonna be maybe this far, so 6 inches or something like that, so it makes sense. But as far as rejection, this does pick up a lot of sounds. It's definitely not the best with rejection, and it's not trying to be that. So if you are shooting in an area that you really don't want a lot of external sounds that there's a lot of, this is not gonna be the mic for you. But if you wanna make sure to pick up all the sounds in your environment, this can be great. Now, as far as build quality, the mic is plastic with a glossy speckled pattern to it, very similar to the Sony A7 series cameras. They have that glossiness on them, looks cool. And then you get a plastic shock mount, 2 fur dead cats. So if you wanna cut out one noise, those are great. And then you get a yellow 3.5mm cable for connection to your camera. As for onboard controls, there is a switch on the top to toggle between having only the front mic on and having both mics on. Then for inputs, there is an aux input for a second mic or a wireless receiver, and then a second aux to go to your camera. Overall, if you're looking for a small and versatile on-camera mic to vlog with, this is a great budget option. But with that, let's move on to the number 4 spot. And that is the FIFINE K669, which is obviously right here. This comes in at only $34.99, which is an insane price for how good this microphone is. Just listen to it right now. Now, what is this perfect for? Well, voiceovers, gamers, or a studio setup like, well, I'm in right now. Obviously, this is definitely a stylistic approach if you're gonna be shooting a headshot to have the mic in the shot, but a lot of people do like that. But for gamers, voiceovers, anything like that, it's great. Now, for 35 bucks, this is a very, very good mic. It is on the brighter side. It's very crisp to the point where it might be too crisp, but for 35 bucks, it's very good. And it doesn't capture a lot of the lower frequencies in the voice like the ones higher up on the list do, but it's still very, very clear and a very impressive sound for under 40 bucks. Now, as for the noise floor, it's pretty similar to the Deity. Take a listen. And that is how it sounds. It is also really sensitive, although you can very easily change that gain, but it's very sensitive, so it will pick up other things. Like if you have a PC right next to your desk, it might pick up that if it's on the louder side. Also like mouse clicks and keyboard presses. So for rejection, it's definitely better suited for quieter environments, but you really can't go wrong for this price. It's crazy. Now for build quality, the mic itself is actually completely made of metal. There is a satin finish red part, and then the rest of it continues to be metal, which is very impressive for the price. FIFINE is just out here. Is it FIFINE or FIFINE? FIFINE? I just do FIFINE. I don't know. Even the mounting location, which is right here, that's actually metal. So that's great. A lot of budget mice, we see them do plastic threading, which is, I don't like that, but this is metal. That's crazy. Now, the USB-A cable itself is non-detachable, but it is thick and durable looking. Overall, it's heavy and feels very, very premium for 35 bucks. That's crazy. This also comes with a standard plastic tripod stand, which honestly feels very cheap, but obviously the price reflects that. And I would definitely recommend an arm for this mic specifically, although it's sensitive enough where you could leave it on your desk, but for best audio quality, well, you see how it looks right now. Now, for controls or inputs or anything like that, the only thing that you have is this cable and a volume knob in the front, which is that gain control, which they actually call volume, which it really should say gain, but yeah, It works great. And really, if you're only gonna have one control, that's what I would want it to be. But with that, let's move on to the number 3 spot. And that is the Rode SmartLav Plus, coming in at a price tag of $57.80. This is obviously a lav mic, so I'm mic'd up here. Typically, you'd put this under your shirt, but for the point of the video to show you guys, well, here it is. Now, this is great for like social experiment style videos, interview style videos, headshots like I'm doing now, although a shotgun mic is better for these types of shots, but you can still definitely do like a headshot like I'm doing now. In fact, I started my YouTube channel with the lav mic similar to this. Also, something else, you could do it like car reviews if you're walking through something, or you need to have a mic separated from the camera. You just use your phone, you plug it in here, and you can see I'm recording. So you can record just from your phone. You can also plug this directly into a camera. So this gives you a lot of movement while still having really good sound quality. Now the mic quality here, obviously you can listen to it and hear it for yourself. And while lav mics are never going to be as good as something like that where you can put it right in front of your face, or something like the Deity up there, this is still very impressive for 60 bucks and being a lav microphone. It is definitely heavier on the bass, which I personally like, especially for a lav. So if you're doing an interview style where you're gonna wanna hear both people, someone talking, you can still definitely do that. As you can hear, I'm gonna take this off, and you can still hear me with me holding it all the way over here. So if we're having a conversation, you can hear it both ways. So that's very cool. It's also very quick to just shove that on someone if you do wanna do an interview style. If you have multiple phones, obviously you can do it that way, or you can plug it into a wireless receiver. A bunch of stuff is capable with this. Now, noise floor is actually surprisingly good here. Take a listen. Yeah, pretty decent. Now, rejection is kind of interesting here because this is an omnidirectional mic, obviously. Well, audibly, the rejection kind of sounds better, but this is really due to just the noise floor being lower. Now for the build quality and included accessories. Since this is a lav mic, there's just not much to it. You have the mic, pop filter, lapel clip, and then a faux leather carrying pouch. One note is that if you do want to plug this directly into the camera or PC, you're going to need a TRRS to TRS adapter or a headphone jack adapter if your phone doesn't have a jack. But obviously I have like an older Note 9. This is just one of my older phones that I had sitting around the office, and this you can just plug it directly in. But if not, get a dongle. Now for onboard controls, obviously there are none on this, but this does have a software. It's an app. You can get it for iOS or Android, and it's the Rode Reporter, which means you can record straight into the app onto your phone, which is great, especially if you want to do some run and gun quick style, maybe public setting videos. Really awesome to do that with. Overall, this is a very versatile mobile mic and is great if you're just getting started and want a small portable mic that can easily be used for interviews outside or even possibly in a studio environment. With that, let's move on to the number 2 spot. And this is the Razer Seiren Mini, coming in at a price tag of $49.99. A very good price for this mic quality. This is what you're hearing right now. Now, this is great again for something like voiceovers, gamers, or again, like a studio setup like I'm in right now. Now, the mic quality on the Razer Seiren is extremely impressive for the price point. This still holds my favorite mic quality under 50 bucks. This is very refined and balanced. It captures a more true to life sound. Bass is exactly where it should be. Trebles are very clear. The T's are bright and crisp without being overbearing. The only thing this could benefit from is having a pop filter, as you do have to be fairly close to the mic. You can see how close I am right now. I'm about that close away from the mic, and that's really where you're gonna get the best sound quality. Now, noise floor and rejection here is very good as well. This has a very quiet noise floor. There it is. And rejection is actually quite good. I'm gonna snap around it. Actually pretty dang good. This can reject louder noises just 2 feet to the left and right extremely well. If you have a louder PC that is running on your desk, this may completely remove that while maintaining the audio quality, which is very impressive for the price point. This might be a huge selling factor for a lot of people that are gamers. The Razer Seiren's build quality is very attractive with a nice high quality dual mesh cover and then a metal band with the Razer logo on it. And the bottom half of the mic is plastic, and that does include the mounting point. So the mounting point is plastic, but well, you can't have everything, right? As for controls and connections, there are no controls on the mic itself, so you have to change gain like on Windows or whatever else. And the only connection is a micro USB that has like a proprietary kind of connection. You could probably use a different one, but it comes with it obviously, and that kind of rounds out the body, if that makes sense. But overall, if you want a studio mic for under 50 bucks, this is definitely my top budget pick. But before we jump into the number 1 spot, we have an honorable mention. And this is the Sennheiser MKE-600, and it's right up there. This is a shotgun mic coming in at a price point of $329.95. So I know what you're thinking, that doesn't sound budget. That's the reason this is in the honorable mention spot. I thought most of you wouldn't think that that is a budget mic, but it actually is. The bigger brother to this mic, which is what a ton of people use, like MKE-600, and most of these studio headshot setups in the industry, they're using the bigger brother to this mic, which costs about $1,000. This is probably 90% of that mic, which is also Sennheiser. It's still the same company, but only at a third of the price. That's what I personally use in this studio for all of my setups. So this is a shotgun mic, which works best for this, like a tripod setup that is for headshots or talking heads or anything like that. It can also be used to record all sorts of like mic tests for like keyboards. That's also what I use, or like interviews, because a shotgun mic works by pointing straight out and it's going to record whatever is right in front of it. So that's how they work. This can really be used for basically all sorts of videos depending on how you have your setup going. So like I said, the MKH416, it is a very widely used mic that's $1,000, and this is basically 90 to 95% of that quality of mic for less. The mic quality here is supreme for the price. This is the best sounding mic, I think, for this $300 price point if you're looking at a shotgun mic. It fits my needs perfectly for a studio recording environment. It uses XLR, and the only real negative here is that it does have a battery. So you do need to use a non-rechargeable. You can't use rechargeable in this. I was having a lot of problems when I would use rechargeable. So you have to use throwaway batteries. It is a AA. That's really the only con, because you don't want to let this mic get to where the battery is low. So it's a little bit more wasteful that way, and it does cost you some money. But for the quality and the price of this thing, it's pretty hard to beat. That's why it's in an honorable mention. But with that, let's move on to the number one best budget microphone if you're a YouTuber. And that is the Samson Q2U, coming in at a price tag of $69.99. Definitely still budget, but definitely on that upper end, as you can hear right now. So what is this best for? Well, obviously voiceovers, podcasts, because I think this is at a level where it's definitely something that you can use on a podcast. I think it's good enough to have that really nice sound quality, especially with voices. Obviously, gamers, this is gonna be great for. Even if you're a singer or a musician, this is also gonna be great. Or again, just like what I'm doing here, a studio setup. Now, mic quality on the Samson Q2U is the MVP of the budget space. The quality on the mic balances trebles and bass extremely well to give you a full but true to sound profile. The mic quality here enters into the professional space, and I'll be perfectly okay with recording my videos even at this level every single day with this mic. It's that good. Now, noise floor and rejection here is the most impressive on the list. Take a listen to the noise floor. That's very good. Now, the rejection is great. It cancels pretty much everything else out but your voice. So for gamers, again, podcasts, that's great. That's exactly what you want. So if you have a louder environment, maybe there's traffic outside of your apartment or house, or you just live in a house that maybe there's a lot of other people that are louder, this is definitely a great option. Now, build quality here is exactly what you would expect. It's fully metal with a nice metal grill and feels extremely solidly built. You also get a foam filter as well as a stand that uses the traditional rubberized mic mount that you would see like on stage if you're like a singer. A large benefit here is that the tripod that's included with the mic itself gives you an overall taller standing height, which is significantly better for recording your voice on a desk, because that's what I'm doing right now. This is just the stock stand and everything. So that is great that you don't really need like a mic arm like this. You can just use it on your desk. Now, as for controls, you have an on-off switch, as well as up and down buttons for your headphone volume. Now, for connection though, you have a choice between either mini USB or XLR. Again, great for podcasts. Then there's a 3.5mm connection for your headset. Overall, this is a top-notch budget microphone for podcasts, voiceovers, or just sit-down videos like this one. Again, if you want to check out any of the 5 mics in this video, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. I'll obviously also have the Sennheiser MKE-600 down there if you want to just go top-tier budget category and get yourself one of those. But yeah, this is a consumer tech review, and I'll see you guys in the next video.